What is going on, you guys? Today we're going to be going over autofocus settings that you didn't know exist in your Canon R6. In this video, I'm going to show you stuff from movie modes to the actual photography sides, and I'm going to show you one trick and setting that is so new and secret that it took a Canon employee to show it to me and then describe how it actually works, and then say, hey, you should probably make a video about this because we get asked this so often. And that is going to be inside this video. So by the end of this, I promise you, you're gonna learn some great stuff, and you're gonna apply probably most of the stuff in this video, even if you aren't learning everything. And this is a friendly reminder to turn off your continuous autofocus while in photography settings so that you don't kill your battery as your lens is looking for focus all the time. It will drain your battery so fast. So friendly reminder to turn that off. All right, and the first one that I talked about earlier was the Movie Servo AF speed. And if you go in there, you can turn down the speed of your RF glass. This won't work with your EF glass, but this will work with your RF glass. And so I have it turned down ever so slightly for noise reasons with the lenses. And you can also come in here to the AF Servo tracking sensitivity, and if you're having problems while you're vlogging, or it's just switching too quickly which subject it has, if you switch it to locked on, you won't have any of these problems. There's several individuals who asked me, hey, we're having problems vlogging, and I told them, hey, just turn this down to locked on and it will not leave your face as you're vlogging anymore with the Canon R6. So that's your fix. This next tip is super basic. So we're gonna focus on this lens and my laptop over there. And all it is when you're in the photo mode, so you're gonna go take a photo, switch over there, focus on the lens, is it will zoom in when you press info, except when you're in eye focus. You can't do eye focus with it. So we have to go switch that over to the point AF, and it'll zoom in 5, and then it'll zoom in 10. And when you're doing this, your settings will turn red because they are locked in to what they are at that moment. Now this next one is very popular among the Canon users. You are not able to do this with Sony's because they don't have touch screens. And this is a great option, especially for the RP that doesn't have any joystick or multi-function selector up in the top corner. So the touch and drag settings. And what this will do is when your face is up to the viewfinder, you can then use a portion of the screen to move around your autofocus settings or your autofocus selection. So you just go in there and enable, and then relative and absolute. So absolute means wherever on the screen you are touching is where the autofocus is going to go. However, relative means that if you swipe in this direction, the button or the actual AF point will go into that direction. I find relative to be a much better selection item than the exact. And then you can choose which section of the screen is actually being used. So I put it to the bottom right every time. However, you can do the top right or the bottom or the top or the left. But I find if I use anything other than the bottom right, my nose will brush up against it and I can find it moving my autofocus around for me. So this is something that I stumbled across accidentally and I found. So in AF number 5, the sensitivity AF PT select is your multi-function controller and it controls the speed. So if we put it to normal and we go back here and then I move it around, it moves at a normal pace. We can then slow it down even further and it will move a lot slower. And then I enjoy the fast selection because even if I bump it, and it's easier to move it right back when it's a little bit faster on that screen. Which leads us to orientation linked AF point. I enjoy this because when you are shooting vertically and horizontally, you tend to keep the autofocus point in a different position. And so this is literally separating your AF points. So now you have two of them in the system. You have one for when you are oriented in landscape and one for when you are in portrait mode, and it'll keep them. It's automatically set to off, but I have found that I have enjoyed working with this because it just makes it easier because it's in the top. I have a certain direction I always put it when I put it into portrait mode, and I have a certain side that I usually enjoy shooting it with it, so it speeds it up ever so slightly. And it's all these small little things that just make your camera work with you that much better. And now we're going to get into the one that I was telling you about, that the Canon employee had to tell me about because it is so well hidden. And that is the lens electronic manual focus. Right here. And what this will allow you to do is when you go into it, it's usually turned to disable after one shot, so it's not on. But when you select one shot enabled, this now allows you to focus in, and then when you adjust you can adjust your focus. You can see as I adjust the focus, it's focusing right over there, and you can see the red moving on the couch. That's showing you which area is in focus. And the way that you can get that set up is going into the number 2 under focus modes AF autofocus, which is because I have the RF 50mm 1.8 that doesn't actually have a focus ring on it. So I can turn it on, and then manual focus peaking settings, have them on, high, and then the color that I want them to, which is red, yellow, or blue. I enjoy red. Then there's the focus guide. That's the part that you saw when I go down there and click on it. Okay, it doesn't want to show us for this one. But for over there, it will show you this box right here. When you're in focus on something, then it will oh, that's why. And the reason it wasn't doing that for me is because I have my AF on set to face focus and eye focus when I press that. So I have to use the front shutter button to show you. So when you press the shutter button halfway down and then adjust it, it will show you, it'll turn green when those arrows come together. And whatever is in the AF's area is actually in focus, it turns green. And then you take your picture. And using these two together with the electronic lens manual focus, you are able to use and get even more precise photos when you want it. Setting this up doesn't get in your way normally, and it's perfectly fine to set this up and you won't even notice it unless you think about and need to use it. And then you have the magnification option. This magnification option allows you to do the exact same thing, except now when you do it, it focuses in. See that? It magnified 5 times. And you can see right there as the focus goes back and forth. And you can get the exact focus you would like. And what's really cool about this setting is it harnesses the power of autofocus, manual focus, and magnification into one easy, swift stroke that allows you to just completely use this camera in a totally different capacity. As well, you can go over here into the 5 and adjust the RF, manual focus, ring sensitivity, and rotation. So thank you for watching. If you are having trouble finding things inside your camera's menu systems, I have a free guide down below that you can check out in the description. And as always, don't forget to like and subscribe on this video for everything mirrorless Canon cameras so that you can go and rock your next photo shoot. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Daniel, and take care.